Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexx here with another Master Duel video for you guys. So today we're going to take a look at Ignister once again. At Ignister, that tripped me up. I know that's going to trip me up as I keep talking about this deck. And I do plan to keep talking about this deck because I'm quite a big fan of this deck, as those of you who saw the deck profile know, which I should have, hopefully do. Remember to link in the description below. Yeah, those of you who've seen the deck profile have already heard me gush endlessly about how much fun I think this deck is, and I think this is one of the cooler combo-based decks that I've played so far here on Master Duel. I just think, again, I'm just going to repeat a lot of what I said in that last video, but the Arrival Cybrse at Ignister is such a cool boss monster. It's there's something about it, just the fact that it's the only Link 6, the fact that it's so, yeah, it's just a big towers, and I know a lot of people aren't fans of that kind of card design, but this is a towers you at least really have to work for, because, the combos in this deck can be a little bit extensive, and for those of you who have played against this deck, it might seem like, God, how do you even memorize all that? But it's actually really not that bad at all, and I am here to show you how, because this is, as you can tell obviously from the video, the combo guide specifically for at Ignister. So we're going to talk about different ways to end on Arrival Cybrse at Ignister on turn 1. Not only that, but we're going to talk about other combos for turn 2 where you can end on an Accesscode Talker, but not just any Accesscode Talker, an Accesscode Talker made using Update Jammer. This monster will allow anything that is used to link summon it to attack twice during that turn's battle phase. So basically the idea is that we can make a 4300 attack Accesscode Talker that can just attack directly twice for lethal, and of course it is very easy to attack directly twice, given that Accesscode Talker can pop every card, pretty much always every card on the opponent's field, without being responded to. So yeah, we definitely like to see that in our our monsters that OTK and finish the game, right? The ability to not only clear the board, but do so without being responded to tends to be kind of nice. Yeah, so those are going to be the main combo lines. We'll also take a look at some... Actually, hang on, let me take a look at my notes here and make sure that I am getting this right. Okay, yeah, so what I meant to say was that we're going to take a look at some variants of that Arrival line. Yeah, I thought there was a line that was a little bit different, but we'll go ahead and get into that here in a bit. There's basically 3 main combo lines that we're going to take a look at. 2 for the first turn that end on Arrival Cybrse at Ignister, and then 1 for the second turn that gets us Accesscode Talker capable of OTKing the opponent. So as with always, as with every video, even for the combo guides, I like to go ahead and break down the list card by card, so that way you know the exact deck that I'm doing these combos with, the exact build, so that way you know everything that you need. Obviously, you don't need all of these cards to combo, but this is also generally just, I think, a pretty solid build. This is the one that we used on the deck profile and showed off some pretty nice games. So again, if you haven't seen that, you're interested in learning more about this deck after this combo guide, I definitely recommend checking that profile out there. But in any case, let's go ahead and break down the list card by card here, as I always like to do at the start of the video. We are playing 1 Effect Veiler, 1 Hiyari at Ignister, 3 Maxx, 3 Achichi at Ignister, 3 Ash Blossom of Joyous Spring, 1 Bururu at Ignister, 3 Pikari at Ignister, 1 Doyon at Ignister, 1 Danmari at Ignister, 1 Gatchiri at Ignister, 1 Nibiru the Primal Being, 1 Harpie's Feather Duster, 3 Cynet Mining, 3 A.I. Meet You, 1 F.A.I. I never know this one. This one always trips me up for some reason. Fighting Spirit. I usually just call it Fighting Spirit. 3 Ignister A.I. Land, 2 Call by the Grave, 3 Crossout Designator, 1 A.I.dle Reborn, 2 Forbidden Droplet, and then 2 Infinite Impermanence. Extra deck is going to have 1 Wind Pegasus at Ignister, 1 Light Dragon at Ignister, 1 Link Spider, 1 Linguriboh, 2 Dark Infant at Ignister, 1 Cybrse Wicckid, 1 Update Jammer, 2 Splash Mage, 1 Transcode Talker, 1 Dark Templar at Ignister, 1 Fire Phoenix at Ignister, 1 Accesscode Talker, and then finally, of course, the Arrival Cybrse at Ignister. So yeah, now that we've taken a look at that, let's go ahead and take a look at these combos here. Alright, so here we are for the first combo. I'm going to show you how to end on the Arrival Cybrse at Ignister, starting with just 1 at Ignister monster. That Ignister monster can be either Achichi at Ignister or Pikari at Ignister. That's why we actually play 3 copies of each of those. So, as with always for these combo guides here, we're going to kind of ignore all the other cards in our hand. We could potentially do some of those stuff with this Fighting Spirit here, but let's just pretend that it's a dead card, or another card like, Veiler C or Crossout like we've got here. So We're going to lead with Achichi at Ignister by normal summoning that. We'll activate the effect to add the Pikari at Ignister. Now, if you opened with Pikari at Ignister instead of Achichi at Ignister, then you would normal summon that and add the A.I. Meet You instead. So now we'll take our Achichi slash Pikari at Ignister and use that to go into our Dark Infant at Ignister. This is going to be a crucial part of the combo, adding the Ignister A.I. land. Obviously, that is going to end up being one of the more important cards for the deck there. And now we can go ahead and activate that like so. And then, of course, if you had summoned Pikari, or opened with Pikari at Ignister and normal summon that, here you would use A.I. Meet You for your Achichi at Ignister. So, but in this case, since we opened Achichi, we'll use Pikari, or we'll summon Pikari with the Ignister A.I. land. Again, obviously, if you had opened Pikari, you would summon Achichi here. So we'll summon the Pikari, we'll throw that right over here. We can activate the Pikari's effect, and now here we'll use Pikari to add A.I. Meet You. If you had summoned Achichi here, you would add the Doyon, but now we're just going to use the A.I. Meet You to add the Doyon here. So again, either way, it doesn't really matter. You're going to end up getting the same thing regardless here. So yeah, we'll reveal the Dark Templar to add a Dark at Ignister, that being Doyon. Now we're going to link away the Pikari and the Dark Infant in order to go into our Cybrse Wicckid is going to be the next thing we're going to want to summon here. Alright, there is the Wicckid, and now we can activate the AI land once again. We're going to summon this Doyon that we ended up adding, and we're going to make sure we want to throw it in one of the zones that the Wicckid points to. Very important so that we can activate the Wicckid's effect. We're going to use both effects here. Now you're going to want to banish specifically the Dark Infant. Don't banish either of these because we're going to end up using both of these later. So with the Cybrse Wicckid effect, banish your Dark Infant specifically. And then for Doyon, we actually want to be specific with what we get with this as well. We want to add the at Ignister monster that we normal summon because we're going to special summon it with the AI land a little bit later in the combo. So if you ever forget, you can just go onto this handy little tab here, and that'll show us that, yeah, we normal summon the Achichi. So that is going to be the one that we add back to hand with the Doyon at Ignister. Alright, see if we can add that there, and then with the Wicckid, we're going to add the Bururu at Ignister because it's the only Cybrse tuner that we have in our deck. So now we can link summon the Transcode Talker using the Doyon and the Cybrse Wicckid. We'll throw that guy right there. And then we can activate the other Doyon effect to add that AI Meet You. It doesn't really matter. Obviously, we can't activate this again anyway, but it's a little bit of extra card advantage, so there's no reason not to. So don't activate the Transcode Talker effect just yet. While we have no monsters in the main zone, we need to activate our Ignister A.I. land. This time we're going to summon the Bururu at Ignister. Go ahead and toss that right here. And then we can activate the Bururu's effect. We'll send the Danmari at Ignister to set up that Omni-Negate type effect. It's not quite an Omni-Negate, but we'll set up that negate for our opponent's turn using the Bururu there. Now we can activate the Transcode Talker effect, and we're going to bring back our Cybrse Wicckid. Just toss that right here. And now we can use the 3 monsters on our field in order to go for the Dark Templar at Ignister. Throwing that right there. Alright, so now we activate our Ignister A.I. land, rather. We're going to special summon our Achichi at Ignister. We're going to throw him over here. And then now we can go for the Dark Infant at Ignister. The second one, rather. And we're going to toss that right here. So now that we've summoned something to a zone that Dark Templar points to, we can activate its effect to summon multiple things. We want to summon 3 things and not just 2. That's also why I should have pointed out, you don't want to summon your Achichi to one of these zones because you don't want to trigger the Dark Templar until you're summoning the Dark Infant. Because we can use Dark Infant's effect in response to move it out of the way and then summon 3 things instead of just 2. Also for this reason, you do have to put Dark Templar specifically in the right extra monster zone. You, again, have to put it in this monster zone in order for this to work the way it is right here. So we'll move Dark Infant over and also change its attribute. You want to change the attribute to Divine because we don't have any Divine attribute monsters in our deck otherwise, and you want unique attributes for the Arrival Cybrse. So Divine will guarantee that you always have a unique attribute. Now we can use the Dark Templar's effect in order to summon 3 of these back. We'll get the Pikari, the Bururu, and the Achichi. Now, we could technically make the Arrival Cybrse at here for 4,000 attack, but we can actually pump it up to 5 here. And we're going to do so by synchro summoning into our Wind Pegasus here. Go ahead and throw that. I don't think it matters. We can just throw it right over there. And now we can use the Bururu effect to add that Pikari we just synced with. And then now from there we can go into a Splash Mage. We're going to use, let's see, we'll use the Wind Pegasus and the Dark Templar. Get the Splash Mage. Now we can activate Splash Mage's effect to bring back that Wind Pegasus. And now you can see we have our Link 6 set up for 5,000 attack rather than just 4,000. It is possible to get 6,000. I think we could have done it since we have the Fighting Spirit in our hand. But again, I wanted to show just a more standard setup. Again, you can get 6,000 attack, but it requires extra resources to use, and I generally think that it's not worth it actually to go for 6,000 attack. The difference between 5 and 6,000 is pretty negligible. The only time you'd really want to go for it is if you're like able to go for lethal as a result, but that's a very niche scenario. So yeah, that's how you set up the Arrival Cybrse at Ignister using the Pikari or Achichi at Ignister, but there is a slightly different way of setting up the Arrival Cybrse at Ignister as well. So I'm going to go ahead and show that off here in the next combo. Okay, so for this next combo, I wanted to show how you can get to the Arrival Cybrse at Ignister when you open specifically A.I. Meet You. Because it's going to be mostly the same combo line, but there is actually some variance to it. And it is very important to note the variance. If you try to use this line with A.I. Meet You the way I did it in the last combo, you're not going to be able to do it. So this is definitely its own noteworthy separate combo. Again, the fact that we opened A.I. Land, the Ignister A.I. Land, would actually normally open us up to do other things, but once again, as always, for the sake of this combo, let's just pretend that it's another card like, you know, one of these where it's not going to contribute as a combo piece. So we're going to start with the A.I. Meet You. From here, we can add either the Pikari or the Achichi. Once again, like the last time, it doesn't matter which you open. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't when you open A.I. Meet You as well. So we'll just add the Achichi using the, revealing rather the Fire Phoenix here. Alright, now we can normal summon Achichi at Ignister, activate the effect to add the Pikari at Ignister. And then, as always, we're going to start off by sending off the Ignister that we normal summoned in order to get the Dark Infant. And you definitely want to do this even if you've got the Ignister A.I. land already like this, obviously because, well, you need to do it to get, you know, you need to go into a Link 1 in order to get your monsters off the board, and plus it can bait out an Ash here. If you've already got the A.I. land. Again, obviously you don't want to use Dark Infant as Ash bait, or if you don't have the A.I. land because you need this to resolve. But in any case, yeah, so we will activate that A.I. land that we just got off the Ignister, use that in order to summon the Pikari. Like I said, for the most part, this is going to be the same, and this is the same so far. We are already going to have to note a difference here because obviously we already used A.I. Meet You in order to you know, establish our combo here, right? So that being the case, we can't get it with the Pikari here. So rather than get the A.I. Meet You, we're going to actually get the A.I.dle Reborn here. Alright, so now we will once again go into the Cybrse Wicckid here. Or the Cybrse Wicckid, rather. And yeah, now we don't actually have another Ad Ignister to summon just yet, but we can use that A.I.dle Reborn that we just got. And let's see, I don't think it matters actually which one you get here. No, yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, it can't be Dark Infant, but it doesn't matter which of the main deck monsters you get. Okay, now we can activate the Cybrse Wicckid, banish that Dark Infant, and then add the Bururu here. Okay, so yeah, now we're not going to link summon the Transcode Talker. We are actually going to instead summon Splash Mage from this point, so we'll throw Splash Mage right there. Activate our Ignister A.I. land. In order to special summon the Bururu, we'll throw that right over here. And now we can activate Bururu's effect, and this is going to be another variance of the combo line here. Last time we just set up a Danmari in graveyard because this effect didn't really matter. It was just setting up the negate for our opponent's turn because we had the Arrival Cybrse. But this time, we actually do need to send the Doyon specifically to the graveyard with our Bururu here. So, now we can activate the Splash Mage effect here. Bring back the Doyon. And I don't want to activate that effect because it's going to get negated anyway. So we'll just go ahead and synchro into the Wind Pegasus here using the Bururu and the Doyon. And we'll throw that over here. And now we're going to use the Bururu effect in order to bring back the Doyon once again. And now we're going to activate because this time it won't be negated. Alright, and then once again with Doyon, we're going to add specifically the one that we normal summon. Again, if you need to check that, you can find that out right over here. But it should be Achichi, if I recall correctly. Yes, it is Achichi. I always like to double check, even if I'm pretty sure I remember which one it is, because I haven't had it happen yet, but that's a very easy way to lock yourself out of the rest of your combo there. So now from this point, it's going to be mostly the same with one minor variation a little bit later. But yeah, we're going to send these three off in order to get the Dark Templar. And again, we can activate the Doyon effect to get the one of the spells back. We'll actually get A.I.dle Reborn back. It's because it's a quick play spell. It's actually not bad to have for the opponent's turn at all. So we definitely don't mind seeing that there. Okay, yep, now we can use the Ignister A.I land to summon that Achichi that we brought back. We'll throw it over here. Use that to go into our other Dark Infant. Again, this part is going to be the same. Alright, we'll activate the Dark Templar effect and then use the Dark Infant effect. Alright, just like last time Dark Infant goes there, we're going to change the attribute to Divine. And then we're going to use the Dark Templar to bring back the Pikari, the Bururu, and the Achichi. Now, this time we can't bring it out with 5,000 attack because we already had to use the Splash Mage earlier in order to make our combo, go off to this point anyway. So we're going to end up making one with 4,000 attack, which is, definitely not as good as 5,000, but the difference between 4 and 5,000, much like the difference between 5 and 6,000, is mostly pretty negligible. Mostly what you're looking for is just above 3,000 attack. 3,000 is kind of that threshold that most decks can put out a boss monster that's got at or maybe a little bit above 3,000 attack points. So as long as you can get your Arrival Cybrse to be stronger than that, you obviously not only have to worry about card effects because it's completely unaffected by other card effects, but then you don't have to worry about it getting battled over either. That said, 4,000 obviously is going to be slightly easier to battle over than 5,000. So again, ideally you can get it to 5,000 attack, but with AI Meet You specifically, you do have to summon it at 4,000 attack, like we see here. So yep, that is the alternate way of summoning Arrival Cybrse on turn 1. Now that we've seen two ways how to summon Arrival Cybrse on turn 1, let's go ahead and take a look at a turn 2 combo and how to OTK when going second. Alright, so here we have our going second turn here, and we opened an AI Meet You, so that is going to be more than enough to, well, not more than enough, it is going to be enough to OTK the opponent. You can do this by opening AI Meet You, Pikari, or Achichi. Generally speaking, you pretty much always want to open with one of those three cards. If you open any one of those three, you're able to do either of these combos, either using the previous ones we saw on turn 1 to make Arrival Cybrse, or again, this one to make the access code. So let's go ahead and start by activating the AI Meet You. We'll use that to reveal the Fire Phoenix and grab our Achichi at Ignister. Alright, now let's go ahead and summon our Achichi, activate the effect. We'll search the Pikari. Once again, we're going to ignore the fact that we opened Ignister A.I land. We can't really ignore the Doyon because we've only got the one, but you don't have to have opened it in order to do what we're going to do, just so you're aware. Alright, going to send off the Achichi for the Dark Infant. This is all probably looking, by this point, pretty familiar. That's why I see this deck isn't really that bad. It looks like it's a lot to do, but it's really not that. It's not any worse than any other combo deck. If you've played a combo deck, you can learn out Ignister. It's not that bad, in my opinion. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and drop the Pikari, activate that. Now we did already use the AI Meet You. Otherwise, you'd grab that here. But yeah, here we'll just get the well, sure, we'll get the A.I.dle Reborn. Why not? That'll make it even easier. But I don't think we'll end up needing that. Okay, let's see here. So, actually, let me think for a second. I'm trying to remember. No, Yeah, we can just go for Splash Mage here. Yeah, here's the thing too, is like, you don't even have to do that many summons in order to, like, get to an OTK combo. That is kind of one of the drawbacks of Ignister overall, is that it tends to be a little bit weak to stuff like, you know, like Maxx in particular, because it does a lot of special summons, or like Nibiru as well. I mean, this will still put you in Nibiru range, but for like Maxx, you know, like I said, you don't have to do that many cards in order to summon. Okay, so yeah, here we're getting the Doyon. I actually meant to add the Achichi, but it doesn't really matter here for this combo. We don't have to add the one that we normally summon, because what we're going to do here is we're just going to bring this back with Splash Mage, and now we can summon our Update Jammer, because we've got 2 level 2 or higher Cybrse monsters. I mean, this combo is pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Intuitive, yeah. It's not hard to figure out how to get to this point. You basically just need to get, like, your Update Jammer and any Link 2 monster out. That's most often going to be Splash Mage, which summons one of the things that you use to make it back anyway, which makes it even easier to go into this line. So, again, sure, we'll activate the Doyon effect, whatever. It's not that big of a deal either way. But, yeah, basically just get to a point where you can, you know, make the Update Jammer and have, like, the Splash Mage out as well. And then that's going to let you go for the access code using these two like so. And we can use both effects here. Make sure that you chain block in the right order, doing Update Jammer and then access code. Because if you do it the other way around, your opponent can potentially respond to the Update Jammer effect. You want access code to be the last chain link, because your opponent can't respond to access code. So, and yeah, now we can. Don't want to proceed to battle phase just yet. Because even though our opponent's got stuff on the board, we've got more than enough ammo in our graveyard to just pop it all, which is one of many reasons, like, why this deck is so, like, just good in general. But obviously it loads up a lot of, like, not only does it set up an access code for OTKing, but it even loads up the graveyard with stuff to banish with said access code. We can banish the Update Jammer as well. I know I kind of clicked off of it as if I didn't want to banish it, but it doesn't matter. We already got the effect for access code to talk twice. It doesn't matter if you banish it later. And obviously it doesn't matter if we pop our opponent's mountain. I was just kind of driving home a point that we could easily pop 3 cards and then move to battle phase, smack the opponent directly, and then even do it once again for good measure. This optional effect, definitely don't activate this if you're attacking directly, by the way. This is to destroy a monster that's involved in a battle with one of your Cybrse monsters, so yeah, we definitely don't want to be doing that. And there you go. That is how to set up an OTK with Ignister when going second. Again, as you saw, it's pretty easy. We didn't even have to do that much of the combo in order to get to that point. So, yeah, cool. All right, now that we have seen all these lines, let's go ahead and move now to the outro. All right, everybody, thank you as always for watching all the way to the very end like this. That does mean a lot to me. Yeah, if you found this particularly helpful, definitely let me know in the comments. And as always, I'm putting the call out to seasoned players of a deck that I feature. If you have any suggestions for combo lines, if I missed any particular combo line that's possible with this build, or even if you can include some fun tech to do even more combos. I know there's other Ignister combos you can do. Like I've seen, like I've personally, and I've actually featured on the channel as well, an opponent doing a combo with Ignister where they ended on a Dark Fluid Dragon. The Dark Fluid Firewall Dragon, as well as an Ignister, or Arrival Cybrse Ignister. So I know with some possible, with some tech, it's possible for other boards to be built, blah, if I can talk, as well. So, yeah, again, if you're aware of those and feel like chiming in the comments, I would definitely appreciate that. And also, if you're subscribing, like I mentioned too, that is definitely a good way to support the channel and also means a lot to me. But honestly, just watching to the end like this is far more than enough. So again, I thank you very much. All right, without further ado, this is XLex signing out. Hope you guys have a fantastic day.